managed to keep hold of it and keep it on the wet stuff.
They had a couple of close calls there, KV, and yet they've still found themselves 3 seconds quicker than what they were previously. So that run there may give them enough of a chance to be right up in amongst those top 5. Let's hold the breath for the ladies as we go through to another good team of ladies. Pip Thompson and Poppy, Megan Brody in the bitches box. They had a 67.422. That 65-second run of the last boat may see them in there. But let's see what our secretary of the JSA can do as she builds up the speed in the L98 motor as fast as she can go round the outside now.
Bit of Buffalo Girls action coming down the straight on the far side there, down the NZ straight, and been really impressed with the way these girls have gone about this season. Out of the running for the championship, and find themselves in 5th place for the championship at the moment, which is a really good move for these girls. And look, Pip Thompson, of course, is from Napier. Megan Brody are from down the South Island. So these girls work fantastically together. And ladies and gentlemen, if you want to get into the sport and follow what Pip and Poppy are doing, certainly get into it. We've got a couple of boats out in the Pick Paddock area for sale, and I'll tell you what, they are red hot as well. So if you want to get into the sport and get out there and just go hard, make sure you get into the stinger tent at the end of the race meeting. So Pip and Poppy now coming into the final part of the lap, and it is a 104.433, so they are 1.3 seconds quicker than Donna Thompson.
Yeah, and they've pulled 3 seconds, 3 whole seconds off their run too. So just like the boat previous, 3 seconds seems to be the difference in the qualifying round to the elimination round. That's a good run for those ladies. Craig Shaw will be our next competitor in. Craig Shaw and Al Libbets and Josh Tribula. Now they had a 67.318 earlier on. Off the line they go. They lift the front of that boat clean out of the water and head around the track for the first time. Once again, as much speed as you possibly can around the outside.
Yeah, the Group B is all about just mashing your foot into the floor and just trying to drive the smoothest possible lines you can. Apexes in jet sprinting are not normal that you would see on a tarmac track. There are different lines and different approaches to each and every boat, and the way that the boat is set up, or the class of boat, or the type of hull it is, will mean the difference. Oh, geez, I tell you what, Craig Shaw on that right, left, right, really got that boat well out of the water. So very aggressive driving there from Craig Shaw and Outer Limits. But the way these guys are going about it, just setting up really quite nice lines. Oh, really opened that up, bogged it down too much though. Really needed to open up that left-hander in a different part of the track. Just got a little wrong for mine coming through there.
Yeah, they were off the pace at the split too. They had a 25-second run. I think that we were going to see them out about the 66, 67-second mark. So this could be the last run for these guys, depending on what comes for the rest of the round. As we come through the final stages, we've got the 65.993, 65.993, the slowest boat out here so far from the previous 3 or 2 that have been here. But let's go to Patrick Hayden and Jay Hayden next, the #1 competitors in the country. Now this, believe it or not, is a do-or-die run for them. If they don't get around and don't get into the next round, it throws the championship wide open. They get into the top 5, they've got themselves championship. So how much pressure KB is going on underneath those helmets right now?
I reckon they are under more pressure than the Catholic Church at the moment, is what is going on underneath that helmet. And it'll be really interesting because Patrick does not need to go out and break the boat. He's just got to get a time better than 64.433. He'll move into the top 5, and from our calculations, which is unofficial, he will take the Group B championship. So, Patrick and Jay Hayden, are they dealing with the pressure at the moment? Yes.
Well, let's have a good look at the split, and I can let you know they're right on the money. They've beefed it up, a 23-second split. That's the fastest split in Group B in this round. So we're going to be down amongst the 64s where KB was talking about early on. Patrick and Jay Hayden now, they've been such a great competitors all year. They put a lot into the sport as they come around the hairpin here now and do a great job with this. This is the finishing stages for them. Round the Suzuki, up to the top of Biolytics. Come on home.
You can see Jay Hayden, the navigator, got her arm right out there, just willing her husband on. absolutely hoping, praying. It is the left, it is the right, it is the left, and it is a time of 63.350. Patrick and Jay Hayden are well and truly on the way to taking a Group B championship.
Oh, there'll be some smiles. Man, there'll be some smiles over there. They are such a good husband and wife team. And but they've still got a lot of racing to do. If you're going to win the championship, you may as well win the round and take a double here at Taranekau today. So we go to Hayden Wilson next. And Hayden, of course, had the time of 64.3 earlier on. Hayden Wilson and Chris Houseman, Wanganui is where they make their home. On the weekend, they're around the country chasing jet sprinting titles. They were the third fastest boat in the country last year, and they'd like to get from fourth up into the top ranks this season.
I'll tell you what, this is just so exciting, and there's still plenty more racing. We are only in top 8 in the Group B. We've got top 8 in the Group A and the Unlimited Superboats. Then we go to 5, and then we go to 3. So it is going to be just spot on, mate. I'll tell you what, I'm like a cat in a tin roof at the moment, just sort of bouncing around and sort of got me little, trying to calm myself down, Wiggy, and I'm not even in behind the wheel.
Yeah, no kidding. I used to work with a guy called Jim Hopkins in the Young Farmers, and he used to wear a pair of leather shoes out every time we did a stage show. You're just as bad. If you didn't have 6 inches of leather or rubber underneath your boots, yeah, you'd be on bare feet about now.
Oh, exactly, wearing the bones through the feet. Just got to ask a quick question in a minute of you, Wiggy, but Ross and Shane
let's go, Ross.
Out on track at the moment. The boys from Wanganui are the reigning champions in the Group B, and they're running it all out of order, which has created a little bit of confusion for us, but not so for Ross and Shane. They didn't have a great start to the season, all sorts of problems with the boat. Ross Travis spat the boat out a couple of times, and now really coming on song, finds himself in second place in the championship, 6 points behind Paddy Hayden and 1 point in front of Tim Edhouse. So where are the cards going to fall? At the moment, you'd suggest they're going to fall pretty well for Ross and Shane Travers. They're on the way to holding on to this second place in the championship, the slender lead over Tim and Debbie Edhouse, but it is going to be oversteering into one corner that is going to make the difference.
Look, I don't think they've got that hairpin sorted out just yet. They really slowed themselves down there. They were a fraction slower than Patrick and Jay Hayden at the split, and then that hairpins cost them a little bit of time too. Let's see where we stack for the end though. We've got a 60.239. So, just don't read too much into what I say. They've just made it for me. 60.239. Ladies and gentlemen, the quickest run for them for the day, 60.239.
Yeah, radioactive, great time of the day to be putting down a time like that. And
Yeah,
that is
that's
certainly going to put the wood onto Tim and Debbie Edhouse, who are only 1 point behind in the championship. White Noise is the next boat that going to face the starter. But quickly, Wiggy, I've got to ask you a quick question. Do you ever worry that you might be somebody else's imaginary friend?
Okay, back to the action, ladies and gentlemen. Hayden Wilson is the man on the course at the moment with Chris Houseman. And 14 Chevy, they've had the time earlier on of 64.3. And around the outside of NZ, back around the top of Biolytics. Now, don't take the wrong turn. It seems to be the odd one thought about it, but not them as we come through to the split. The split's a good one. Well, no, it's not. 24.111. 24.111, so they're out about the time of 64.2, 64.3. But there is still a lot of track to make up that time.
Yeah, look, it's interesting. You think that this looks like a quick run, but the split time belies that indeed. So he's really going to have to get a hustle on the boat, just hopping and bouncing out.
It's rough. It's really rough.
He was lucky to make that channel down between PSP there and NZ. Was really wide out of there. Lucky not to have grabbed a little bit of mud on the way through there and thrown that boat right out of alignment. You can see a few dings on the bow. That was from earlier in the season when the boat kept cutting out. But at the moment, Hayden Wilson now across the line, and it is a 103.975. So they will progress into the top 5.
Yep, at the moment you need to be better than 64.433 well, 64.433 is the 4th fastest time. So, yeah, these guys have still we've got Tim Edhouse and Debbie Edhouse waiting for them to come off the line. If they can, they need to be right down amongst it. Yeah, 65.993 is the one that's sitting on the bubble at the moment. Craig Shaw was 65.993. So Tim and Debbie Edhouse, they had a 64.136 earlier on, and they are on the water now and about ready to launch themselves out.
Currently sitting third in the championship is Tim and Debbie Edhouse, 1 point behind Ross Travers, who's in second, and a few points shy of where Paddy Hayden is leading the championship at the moment. But it is still game on, don't worry about that. Liquid Addiction, these guys from Ofonga, and great couple, just absolutely red hot this season, just been doing such a good job each and every race meeting, just keep knocking on the door. So where are they going to end up? How's the split looking? And it's a 24.098, so they're outside. Oh, he's bonked it down around there. That could have come unstuck very easily, got away with it.
All right, they are lucky to be still on the track, ladies and gentlemen. Don't forget they've got to be down in less than 65 and a half odd seconds as we put the hammer down for them. They just don't let us down. They've been consistent all season long. Tim Edhouse and, of course, his lovely wife, Debbie, the owners of the garage at Ofongo, Northern National Park. Boy, oh boy, this is going to come down to the wire for these guys. 55, 6, 7. Come on home.
Big ease off coming into
the
corner, really throwing the motor
I've got it.
on 103.351. They will progress into the top 5.
63.351. So it looks like we're going to say goodbye to Craig Shaw. Craig Shaw definitely comes out. And but of course Ross Travis, we can tell you, is the fastest qualifier.
So I dare say that that is going to be the end of...
We're also going to say Donna Thompson too.
Donna Thompson.
Yeah, she's out as well.
And Craig Shaw unofficially have not progressed. All right, we are now going to go to husband and wife team from Thames of Bevan and Cathy. Last time out, they went wrong way. Finally sorted themselves out with a 1 minute and 45 second run.
Well, they're on it now.
Really going to have to sort that out. But they seem to be on song at the moment.
Definitely. As we come around the top of Biolytics, KB, they look a totally different package than what they were. Let's hope, well, we haven't got a split time coming up. I've lost that on the screen there, so...
get back to you.
Yeah, we will.
But you dare say that the way this is running at the moment, that this is going a lot better now for Bevan and Cathy Muir for this particular run. Now coming into commentary, just tightened it up in there. Geez, I tell you what, came out of there, cost himself probably a full second in there to Bevan Muir for 10 tools. So hopefully they're just going to have to get the hustle up now, keep it all smooth, keep it all nice.
All right, through the final stages now. Going to have to work out some times for these guys, ladies and gentlemen. We'll get it to you as soon as we can as we take a look at things.
All right, we're going to get back to you with a time with that. We've actually got the calculators out. We've got the abacus. We've got a whole heap of people in here taking their shoes and socks off. They're trying to work out fingers and toes and all sorts of things. But I think that some of the guys in here with the intelligence that they carry should just work out and start with 2. You've got 2 ears and work from there.
All right, the way it is at the moment, we will get back to you with the time for Bevan and Cathy Muir. Just a little bit of work to do between race coordinators and track controllers. So people are on RTs working things out now. Got a tyre in the track out there, Kavik?
That's a decent sized tyre too. I do know, if there's one thing I know about boats, boats don't go well with tyres.
No, it takes a lot of beer to get a tyre that big.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll take a short break and we'll be back in just a second.
Had a 61.51. Now, previously had a 66.27. So, boy, oh boy, it took about coming down 5 seconds, 5 whole seconds from the previous run. That's a way to get yourself into the elimination rounds.
Yeah, great big move and a big move.
We're going to go down to Neil Marshall.
At the moment, it is Neil Marshall and Michelle Reid, Eagle Automotive. We've seen these guys drive so smoothly throughout the course of this season, and here today at Taranigau, they have been driving like a dog's breakfast. It has been all over the shop. But having said that, this particular run looking a lot smoother. Although we're getting now into the split. Where's the split there, Wiggy?
23.994, so fractionally off the pace of Bevan Muir, in fact nearly a second. So these guys should be looking at about a 63-second run. I would like them to get better than that if they want to get themselves into the next round. Around the outside of PSP now, Hairpin. This is a money corner right here. They've done a good job of getting around it. It's up to them to stay on track. As KV said, perhaps the last round wasn't the best drive that they've had for a long time. Let's take a look around the top of Biolytics, and home we come. We're at 57 as we hit the point. They're 58 now, and they've made up some time at the final stages with a 61.930. 61.930, 2 seconds quicker than what they were prior to their qualifying year.
Yeah, look, a lot better run that time for Neil Marshall and Michelle Reid. As we've said, today is not the smoothest we've seen them drive, but that is a massive improvement on what they have done in the previous rounds, and this is the right time of the day to do it because it is sudden death finals time. The top 5 out of each class will progress, and Neil Marshall might well find himself in and around the bubble as we see Ollie Silverton and Jess Sid out of the water. PSP Sun Tough. If you want your roofing, this is the stuff that you want to use. The Clearview, the polycarbonate, and it is top quality gear. And Ollie Silverton is a top quality driver. Hasn't been having the day that he really was. Really just hasn't been happy with the setup. Hasn't been happy with the way he's driven. So he's got a lot of doubts coming into this top 8. Where is he going to go from here? You'd have to suggest that he's got to hurry on and he wants to progress. And we saw him at Wanganui only 2 weeks ago, and he was out and flying each and every round. He's had a bit of a mixed day and a mixed bag of it so far, but seeming to come on song at the moment.
Had a 23-second split, so he needs to really step it up a little bit. 63.904 was where he found himself qualifying into this round. He would be one of those guys who would like to see him with a 6-0 in front of his name as he gets ready to go through the next round. We're at 57. He's probably going to find himself right there. Ladies and gentlemen, a nice run with 60.730. 60.730. Picked it like a nosegay.
Yeah, gee, I'll tell you what, mate. Yeah, picked it like a scab. Beautifully done. Ollie Silverton moving forward. He will progress into the top 5.
Okay, our competitors need to be better than 61.930. Sorry, 63.500. 63.500 is the slowest time of Carl Brensel's at the moment. So let's go to Simon Gibbon, who's already got a 60-second run. 60.929 is where he found himself in the last round. Simon Gibbon and, of course, Novus Autoglass. While we're waiting for Simon's boat to come off the trailer, the Group B top 5 running order from slowest through to fastest qualifier: Pip Thompson, Hayden Wilson, Tim Edhouse, Patrick Hayden and Ross Travis are our top 5 competitors. And boy, it's good to see, KV, the top 2 competitors are going in first and second place at the moment, chasing each other hard.
Oh, they absolutely are, mate, and it's certainly not over. Great to see that Pip Thompson made it into the top 5 as well. So glad that we've got our official times now through. We just had a look as we saw our safety crew just removing a few more tyres from the start straight. Simon Gibbon now coming out, Paul Tomo Thompson from North Canterbury. The last run we saw this boat, they were absolutely on fire, and let's hope that they can emulate that sort of thing. Simon Gibbon not mucking around, straight out of the start gate at full pace. Now into these left-handers, the 2 money corners, he has been untidy every single time throughout the course of today's proceedings. Will he go better around there, because those are the 2 corners that are costing him plenty.
He puts a lot of pressure on himself, ladies and gentlemen. He's got the backing of his family, but he leaves them behind every weekend. Holy moly, 22.738. He's on the bubble. Watch out, 22.738 is a quick split. We may go 60 or just slightly better for the Novus Autoglass boat.
Yeah, really good run. This is going to be the money corner. How's he going in here? Well, the boat bobbing a little bit, but didn't wash off too much speed.
That's
good.
good.
Got around the PSP hairpin quite nicely. The best we've seen him do all day. It's really coming down into this, and Simon Gibbon wants to find himself into the top 5 and get himself onto the podium at the end of today. And the way he's going at the moment, you would have to suggest, oh, wow, oversteered it coming through there in the last right-hander. And a 59.827. Great run from the boys from North Canterbury.
What a good run. That puts him in the lead at the moment. If he could have just kept a little smoother at the final stages there, I think you would have seen a low 59. But 59.827, we have our sub 60. So He reckoned he could get down in the 58s if he can just keep the chance of going forward. Speaking about going forward, Blake Bryant, Kate Hugenbrag should be our next team in, the Harvest Transport boat. And their quickest time, or their time that qualified them into this elimination round, was a 60.708.
Oh, I tell you what, that is a very aggressive start for Blake Bryant, who finds himself in second place in the championship, 3 points behind Sam Newdick. These guys are now under more pressure than a previous none. It is going to be telling. This is where mistakes are made. This is where championships can be won and lost. And Blake Bryant now comes through that split with 21.822. He is on it.
Is he definitely on it, ladies and gentlemen? We're going to be down in the 58s with a run like this. He knows that there is a couple of guys quicker than him so far today, but he likes to put the pressure. He may have almost put the pressure on himself there with that left-hander. He darted around it a little bit. Now, around the outside of Suzuki, full steam ahead as we go up and find ourselves the Biolytics Island. Some boats have left the course here, but he's done a really good line around the outside of it. Blake Bryant got the motor trim, got the boat going well, and that's a nice finish with a 58.026. 58.026 should get your hands out of your pockets. Give it up for the man from Gisborne and his partner as well.
58.27 seconds quicker than he's done all day.
And it is the fastest time. Sam Newdick had a 58.928 to qualify into this round. We've just seen a 58.02, so we're going to see 57s out of these Group A's.
That is putting the pressure on the next pairing of Rickberg and Elk Hill.
The Firewater boat, ladies and gentlemen, is KV running out of oxygen up here. This is the 406 Chevy with 627 horsepower. These guys have spent a lot of money to get themselves here. They sponsor themselves. That's a nice left-hander around the outside of Biolytics now. All the way home. Nicer, smoother lines for them this time. Let's have a look at the split. It's once again a 22.733. We're probably looking at a 60 to 61 second run.
Interesting though, Wiggy, we're having a look here with Elk, as he's coming in this tight part of the track through here, he's easing off it, and he did again. Coming in his hairpin, really ease off it, because that is costing a lot of time. He's losing a lot of momentum, and it's an interesting way he's going about it. You normally see these guys just go straight in the corner. Rickberg just easing it off into the technical part of the track.
Handsome is not what you could call this team, but fast certainly is as we come around Suzuki to finish off the track. Oh! Dug a hole like a spade, but got a time of 59.514. 59.514. Boy, oh boy, there's people up here in this commentary box ready to leave their seats as they dug a big hole through this finish line there.
I tell you what, Wiggy, I reckon that there has been some body movements just going on there that have caused a little bit of weird stuff going on up here with these girls. We won't go too far into that, but wow. I'll tell you what, these girls up here have got some quick reflexes, mate. They were up and nearly out the bloody door then. Rickberg and Elf Kill, geez, coming across that finish line, just turned in that little bit easy, a little bit too tight, and nearly came unstuck for the reigning world champions, who find themselves in third place in the Altherm Group A Championship for the 2016 season. All right, we cast our eyes over on to the spin-out pool, and it will be Sam Newdick, who qualified fastest coming into the top 8, but has just been beaten on time by Blake Bryant by 0.9 of a second. So what will Sam Newdick do? No, actually, sorry, I do apologise. Hyper Sprint coming out now. It is Baden Gray.
It is Baden Gray ready to come out, and 2 boats left to go. Guys are running out of order a little bit. The time at the moment that's sitting right on that 5th place bubble is Bevan Muir with a 61.57. 61.57 is the time to keep an eye on. If any of our next 2 competitors come down under that, we're going to say goodbye to Baden Gray. We've probably already said goodbye to Neil Marshall. Oh, look at this. They've decided to give it a little bit of jandle and try and make that top 5 and finish on the season winner for this new concept boat.
Yeah, the Hyper Sprint built by Phil. Oh, Baden Gray was so late around there. I don't know how he didn't end up back on the trailer.
He's had that with that corner a couple of times today. Seems that the steering on this boat, they tend to leave it a little later than what they normally would. The split times are 24.314. He's off the money here. Baden Bevan Muir will be sitting up on the bank watching closely. And now they've lost it, ladies and gentlemen. Obviously, when the package is not performing like they'd like it to, they start thinking about what they could be doing different, and they lost their way around the track. The girls in the office up here still saying no, they're wrong, and there's a fair bit of work going on in the top 2 inches under the helmets to try and get themselves back on track. One thing we can say, though, this is the end of the day for them, and any time you think they might see you, give them a round of applause and send them home.
Yeah, look, that definitely will be the end of Baden Gray there, which is an unfortunate way to end the season. But, look, that is racing, and you can't win them all. But tell you what, Bevan Muir, the former co-driver with the man on track at the moment, he's going to be reasonably happy to a certain extent that his former co-driver has thrown it all away and sees Bevan Muir progress.
All right, gets themselves through the time. It's a 1:26. 1 minute 26, so it's all academic.
All right, we are just going to take a short break for a second while we effect a rescue of a loose tyre just in front of timing. So Sam Newdick will probably be sent back up onto the trailer. I would suggest Baden Gray just going over that loose tyre just in front of commentary. Hokie now doing the sprint through the mud. Have a look at the lady, getting the power going on. Woohoo! In the water, dive, come on, you'll feel it. Just use your head.
Yeah, just straight there. Keep going to your left a little bit, Hokie.
Go to your left, your other left. No, our left, not your left.
Yeah, right there, right at your...
Yeah, you should find it around about there.
Come straight to me. No, that's away from me.
Yep, that's it.
Yeah, right in there somewhere.
Hey, this is like playing charades.
Yeah, it is really. As a Hokie team.
All right, so while we've got everybody down there trying to work it out. Yep, we found it. There we go.
Hokie, if you just put your head under the wheel, there's 2 tyres there.
Oh, have a look at the power lift. Ho, ho.
Ladies and gentlemen, how about give Hokie and our rescue crew another round of applause? She comes to every event and has a lot to do with jet sprinting. We can't do without the likes of her. So give her and the rest of the crew. I think we've got a First 15 rugby team here as well today for helping us out. So thanks very much to them too. So one boat left to go once again.
I wonder if that little bit of a pause there to get those tyres out of the track will have upset Sam Newdick and the frame of mind that he is in, because Sam over the years has come to crunch time and has thrown away.
Don't you jinx him.
Before. So what will the man do? The championship is his to take if he wants it. It's 144 points. He's 3 points in front of his nearest competitor, which is Blake Bryan in the last transport boat. Sam Newdick, one of the smoothest drivers going around anywhere in the world. And where's the New Zealand #1 for the last 2 seasons? Will he have a three-peat? We are about to find out. This is the top 8. Sam Newdick needs to get into the top 5 and get himself into at least a 3rd podium position to take the championship in the Group A. Coming towards commentary now. Nice line. Knocking down a couple of little knights on the exit out of there. Very unlike Sam Newdick. The boat just wobbling a little bit at the top of PSB. Now going up the NZ straight, really putting the jam in it. The flip-flop, the thong, throwing everything out of the hungry Sam Newdick.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, he's going to come across the line in a very quick time of 58.229. 58.229. That'll put him in 2nd place behind Blake Bryant. 58.229. And we're going to say goodbye to Bevan Muir as well as Carl Brensel and Neil Marshall. So give them, those 3 competitors, a big round of applause as we say goodbye to them.
Unofficially, of course.
Definitely unofficial.
We buggered that up once or twice before, haven't we, Wiggy? Or maybe I have, and you helped and applauded or something.
Yeah, well, you can take all the blame. And
oh, that's
I'll take
right. Yeah, that'd be right, mate. You know, I'll take the blame. I've got big shoulders and a big belly. All right, so we've just got our crew out there. They're just sorting out our timing. The loops have just been thrown around a little bit, so just sorting it out there. Once again, the rescue crew put the great effect, and that is one of our fat controllers out there in Eric Hoxema. So
okay.
Actually, I've got a bit of a song for our fat controllers. I'll just see if I can find it, Wiggy. Just bear with me a second. I'll have to. I need my glasses. Hang on a second.
Just while Kobe's doing it, you got it?
Anyway, that was a Fat Controller song, so sing along with the Fat Controller song. All right, so we are now heading into our top 8 of our methanol-sucking monsters that are the unlimited superboats. These boats will change the orbit of the moon. They actually will turn Pluto into a real planet. And this is the meaner machine, Richard Murray, the man currently sitting in 4th place in the championship. And he's doing the navigational duties. Richard Murray really going to have to step this run up and absolutely going out with a full head of steam in the meaner machine.
Yep, ladies and gentlemen, it's the slowest qualifier here in the top 8 with a time of 61.343. If he wants to try and find himself on any sort of podium this weekend, he's going to have to find another couple of gears. The split time is a 22.341. He's off the pace a little bit. 22.341.
And the pressure has bitten Richard Murray. Is that his opportunity gone to stand on the podium for the 2016 championship? I dare say it is going to be a close run thing. Has he thrown it away?
Well, ladies and gentlemen, if he has, it's going to be a bit of a hard shot for him because he's had such a big season as he stepped up to be in the Superboats from Group A. Past Group A New Zealand champion. Built probably what we deem as one of the harder machines to drive and done a great job this season, but I'd hazard a guess that unless somebody else goes totally wrong, that's the end of his season. How about give Richard Murray and Steve Edmonds a big round of applause, as that will be probably the end of the year for them. 107, 67, 902, 67, 902. Now, we have the official running order for the top 5 of Group A. It's going to be in this order: Ollie Silverton, Simon Gibbon, Rick Burt, Sam Newdick and Blake Bryant. And amazing, there is only 1 second between the top 4 competitors there, so it's anybody's game. Dave Simmons will be, and John Berry will be our next boat out in the Blue Flame. Now, KB already told you, they've been having a bit of trouble with the motor in this boat at the moment, but they've had a time of 61.284. They were our second slowest qualifiers.
So I can tell you what, even though they've been having a lot of trouble with the tune on this, when I spoke to Dave during the lunch break, I said, what's going on, mate? He said, we are waiting for something to break because then we can isolate what the problem is. And it looks as though at the moment they are out there to break this boat, to find out what the problem is. I'm really very impressed with the way they've just started off that lap very, very quickly indeed. Easing off a little bit strangely at this part of it. Maybe there's more problems in there that they're willing to admit. But yeah, big ease off going on.
Oh, the big bounce.
Like, you
big
know,
bounce
come on,
now.
Dave Simmons, get the big boy's pants on. He did that at Wanganui coming into the hairpin as well. And that is what is costing plenty of time. Don't you worry about that. Now around NZ for the final time. Into the last left-right combination. Dave Simmons and John Berry. And it is a 59.305. Their fastest time of the day by 0.9 of a second.
Yeah, what a great run for them, 59.305. And we need to put that in respect of everywhere else. That would have qualified at about 5th place. In fact, 4th place. So they may have climbed up the order a little bit, but don't forget, there is 6 more competitors to go that have got great times as well. Scott Donald should be the next competitor in. And here they are coming down off the track. They are from Featherston, of course. Scott Donald, Nicole Reesby, Wicked and Wild. 410 sprint car engine with 850 horsepower. Lots of presence here. Now, these are your local team, ladies and gentlemen. They are on the bubble. Can they make the top 5? Can they get themselves into the chance to make the top 3? Started off what looks like a little bit of a mediocre run, so maybe just maybe a little bit of your screaming and yelling might come and push them along a little bit.
Yeah, gee, I love the smell of the methanol wafting into the commentary tower, but they are really going to have to get a move on. Probably not the quickest drive we've seen at 23.033. Well down on the first split. So, wow, we've been talking them up all day, and I just wonder if maybe they've made a change, adjusted the blades in this, which isn't giving them that top-end speed. Maybe they've made a blade adjustment to get a better exit to the corner. But, yeah, look, I dare say, from what we're seeing out there at the moment, Scott Donald and Nicole Reevesby will not feature in our top 5. However, it is racing. Anything can happen. They've come over in quite a big hurry, though. 59.848.
Yeah, that's a big improvement for them. Nearly half
That was
a second.
a massive move in the second half of that lap. They've really taken a lot of time out of that run. In that first split, they were well down on where they should have been. So really, if they don't progress, it was that first half of the lap that has cost them plenty.
Our next team in is Leighton and Kelly Manel, Taranaki Hardcore. Wow, they've got 1,500 horsepower. Naki Hire Engine Rebuilders and CPSL are their sponsors. You can't miss this boat. There's only one speed, and that's it. Right now, he's going to throw it on the line. He knows that he is one of the middle-of-the-pack competitors, and if he wants to get in with a chance to win this championship, he's got to do it and do it right now. Hard around that corner. We'll go all the way up to the outside of NZ, around by a limit. We're going to come right here in front of you. I'll give you the split, and KV will take you home. As we look now to the split, it's a good one. It's 21.581.
Yeah, great run there for Leighton in the first part of the lap. But again, he's a bit of a dark horse, this man. While he's sitting second in the championship by 1 point, he plays the game beautifully. He's not going to show all those fellow competitors everything that he's got. He's going to do just enough to progress into the top 5. Then he's going to have to unleash the beast if he wants to take this championship. So Leighton Manel, the man we call Shrek, his wife sitting in alongside there. Cannonball Kelly is the first mate, now coming into the run for the line, and it is a 59.902. Scott Donald was quicker.
Yeah, that's incredible.
So was Dave Simmons. Wow, Leighton Manel well off it.
Yeah, well, Leighton Manel was 2 seconds quicker than Scott Donald at the split. He must have backed right off on the way home, because I was expecting him to get a 57 on the split time he had, but obviously the second half of the course is a nemesis for him.
Yeah, really eased off on it in a big way. Maybe thought he was going quicker than he was, but that puts Leighton Manel, the man who's second in the championship, into a bubble position. If the bubble bursts, he's out. Glenn Head, Darren Toddy, the one-eyed navigator. Try and work out which eye's the one that works, and even Toddy won't be able to tell you half the time, particularly when you're getting thrown around in this sprint tech hull with Glenn Head at the helm, the man who is leading the championship by 1 point, the man who is the reigning world champion. The young man came into the sport only 3 years ago and has swept all before him. And this is the opportunity to dance on the podium at the end of the season. How's Glenn Head looking on the split?
Here's a 21.806, ladies and gentlemen. If he keeps that pace up, he should be around the 57-58 mark. However, it looks once again like that trap through the middle of PSP is where they lose time. Full noise now around the outside. Don't forget, the engine just got put together in this... no! Oh, my
What's
goodness.
going on? Glenn Head's gone the wrong way. There's an engine problem.
Oh, there is, ladies and
There
gentlemen.
is an engine problem. Oh, no. Glenn Head is out.
I just said to you, KB, as we were going around, there's a brand new engine and this thing just got put together. And with it, before it got out of my mouth, I could see that the thing started to shut down. And ladies and gentlemen, it's good night or good afternoon to Glenn Head. Give them a hand, because it's consolation time for them. This is an elimination round.
Glenn Head out of taking the New Zealand Championship. They will be gutted.
Oh, they will.
Oh, no, what a tragic way to end the series. But, wow, doesn't it open it up now for Leighton Manel? Still an opportunity with a slow time. It opens up the opportunity for Peter Cowie and Rob Coley.
Rob Coley too.
And Richard Murray is not going to progress. He's thrown his championship opportunity away as well.
So it's a three-way race now between Rob Coley, Peter Coe and Leighton Manel.
That is if Leighton Manel progresses.
Yeah.
Because at the moment, he's sitting on the bubble. Glenn Head is out. Richard Murray will be out. And it is Leighton Manel that has the slowest time.
So, yeah, it comes down to what happens in our next three competitors. Richard Burt, of course, he can't win the championship, but he can win this round and really throw things into the mix. Rob Coley and Peter Coe came into this competition in third place equals. So it really comes down to what those guys are going to do in the next 10 minutes. So, ladies and gentlemen, the climax, and there's no other word for it, of the Suzuki Superboats is going to happen right in front of your eyes. There are three competitors that have the chance to win this, and it is that tight that two of them are tied at the moment. So, boy, oh boy, we couldn't have written a script any better than this.
No, absolutely. Agatha Christie wouldn't be able to write a book like this, I can tell you. Ladies and gentlemen, give Glenn Head and Darren Todd a big round of applause.
All right, consolation round there for them. That's a shame. They will take away from this season, though, the World Championship. But unfortunately,
there's nothing to sneeze at all, but certainly being super competitive, coming into this round on top of the table with 1 point, and that is the end of it for those guys. Devastating, absolutely devastating. All right, we'll take a short break and we'll be back in a minute.
Ladies and gentlemen, here we are as we come on around the track. Here now, Richard Burt, the man that had a 57.229. Don't forget, he's got that twin-turbine Nissan, and this man here, the way he's coming around the track now, he's throwing the little gauntlet down. He wants to make sure he's going to be in the top three. It's been it or win it, and he hasn't had the season that he wanted with earlier motor problems. But look at this, we're going to go sub-20, not quite, 20.414, the quickest split so far. We are going to be looking at a 57-second run, or maybe even better.
Richard Burt is racing. Don't worry about that. He's been tickling it along. Kevin Roberts, the B driver. He's not, Richard Burt doesn't need to worry about that. Really, just setting this boat on fire. Got Claire Roberts sitting in the silly seat. She will not have a clue where she is at the track at this point. Richard Burt across the line. 54! Whoa!
54.589. 54.589. That's how good the horsepower in the Japanese engine is, and the boat combination and the driver. 54.589. Ladies and gentlemen, you need to come a little wild and a little wilder for that competitor. Well done.
That is amazing. And just to give you an idea, ladies and gentlemen, that boat would have used 28 litres of methanol for that 54-second run. Now, if you want to put that into a comparison, you can get into Suzuki Swift and drive from Wanganui to Auckland with 28 litres of fuel. So that's a big fuel bill for a 54-second run, but what a run it was.
We're going to go to Rob Coley now in the Mouth Fresh boat. Once again, this is another competitor that's got to keep his mind on the job, has the chance of winning the New Zealand title. You'd have to say that the fastest man on the track today is Richard Burt. He can't win the New Zealand title, but he could win this round of competition. Going to be two sets of podiums tonight. This man wants to find on the second set, which will be the championship set. As we get around the islands in the 705 cubic inch Donovan Blick block, look at this thing, power out of the water. This man will be giving one thing and one thing only, that is full throttle. Let's have a look as he comes down through the split. It's going to be a hot one. Ladies and gentlemen, your split time is 21.468. Cackling out there, KV.
They just hit the rev limiter then as he got too tight going around Suzuki. And Rob Coley uncharacteristically backing off coming into the split. So he knows he's got plenty left. He knows that he's just got to beat a time of 59.902, or sorry, 59.304 to be able to progress into the top five. He's been around the suggest that Rob Coley will be progressing into the top 5. Nice run to the line, 56.478, and he parks it up on the bank, but he posted a time. How good is this championship?
Boy, oh boy. That is incredible. Ladies and gentlemen, we lost him there. Had a huge finish, Cavey, as he came through the line there. Massive turn there as he came across the line. Managed to keep it in the track. There's still another round to go. So for that competitor, that is an amazing finish. 54.589 is the quickest. Richard Burt, 56.479.
Well, news coming to the tower, Wiggy. They are not going top 5, top 3. It's going to be a top 5 to sort out the podium places because the sunstrike is causing all sorts of problems. That is putting more cats amongst the pigeons. That's, mate, how good is this?
That's going to let Leighton Manel in probably. Maybe. I mean, we still got Peter Curry. Let's have a quick look.
Let's have a look and see what we can get here as we effect the rescue of Rob and Ange Coley. And you can just have a look at looking down onto the boat there now. You can see how bad that sunstrike is as they're just sitting in the boat now. So this is going to put even another problem or another issue in with the whole mix.
Well, the time to beat at the moment, so we have in the top 5 at the moment, Leighton Manel is in there with a 5.9902 in 5th place. Now, we really wanted him to try and get into that top 5, but Peter Curry, the man that was the quickest qualifier into this round, is still to come. Now, ladies and gentlemen, if Leighton Manel can make it into the top 5, then that means Peter Curry's got to do something really bad. We are going to end up with 2 competitors right in there with a chance. The 2 competitors are actually tied at the moment. Rob Coley and Peter Curry are tied going into the final round for points for the New Zealand Championship.
It is just massive, and we've seen the 2 of the top guys out with Richard Murray and Glenn Head. Leighton Manel is on the bubble. Did he outplay himself? Did he outsmart himself? Once Peter Curry gets through that timing loop, we will know whether Leighton Manel outsmarted himself. But instead of going top 5, top 3, it is going to be top 5 in all 3 classes. So that just turns the wick up. That brings the pressure on board. And, wow, I'll tell you what, I'm lucky. I'm glad that there is only another top 5 to go, because I don't think I could handle the pressure of a top 5 than a top 3.
No kidding, mate. And going back to Leighton Manel, like we were talking earlier on, he was 1.5 seconds quicker on the split than Scott Donald, but he finds himself 0.1 of a second slower on the final time. So that 0.1 is a costly blink of an eye, if that. So we're just waiting for Peter Curry now, warming his boat up.
That 0.1 there, mate, it takes longer to pass wind.
Yeah, no kidding.
All right, so, but mind you, that is just the championship for the unlimited boats. We've still got the Group B and the Group A still up for grabs. Now, this is going to be the final run in the top 8 for the Suzuki Superboats. Peter Curry, he's really going to have to nail this one if he wants to stay in the championship. One wrong move, one wrong wheel placement, one over input can throw the championship away for Peter Curry. He's a man who's been under pressure plenty of times. He's a man who's a multiple world champion. He's a man who's a multiple New Zealand champion. If he takes this win today, he is going to be a 10-time New Zealand champion. But he's still going to get to the top 5. The split was good at a 21.211.
You couldn't have written this script like this guy's crashed boats this year. He's had motor troubles, all sorts of things. He would not have expected after the first couple of rounds of the New Zealand Championships to be in the position to win a title here this year. Ladies and gentlemen, there is one thing about being consistent. You put yourself in the chance to win. Success equals preparation, and preparation can be the best thing you can do to get success as we come through with a time of 55.781. 55.781.
That is Leighton Manel out of the New Zealand Championship for the Unlimited Superboats. He outplayed himself. Wow, so the top 5 that are going to run in the unlimited category are going to be like this. We're just waiting for our official timing here. It will be Scott Donald, Dave Simmons, Rob Coley in with a championship chance, Peter Coe in with a championship chance, and Richard Bird qualifying fastest. This is the top 5 of the Group B. This is all in. This is go hard, because there's no point going home with a straight boat.
Righto, ladies and gentlemen, you're looking at Pip Thompson, Megan Brodie, the slowest qualifiers into the top 5. They would love nothing better than to get themselves a championship round here in this, or at least get on the podium for this round at Taraniko. That will be the success story for them. But there's the navigation.
Oh.
That's taken them out right there. They took a wrong turn. The ladies have cost themselves. Pip Thompson, they didn't go through the split timer. They haven't got themselves right, and the rest of it is just for you. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, that is their day.
Yep. Pip and Poppy have thrown it out the window. They will be devastated, and you can see now that the girls just aren't putting a whole heap into it. They know that it is straight away. Pip Thompson just easing right off now. I dare say that that sunstrike has had a little bit to do with that. Came into that part of the track, probably lost her way as the sun was burning the retinas, and I dare say the girls have given it away. They're actually shaking their heads at one another, and the bitches box, and they've parked it up on the bank. Ladies and gentlemen, wow, let's give it to the ladies out of the bitches box. And that's the song for the ladies in the bitches box as our rescue crew once again go back to work. We'll take a short break and we'll be back in a second. All right, we are going to go back to the top 5 for the Group B, the Biolytics Group B. Patrick, Paddy Hayden is the man leading the championship, but it is White Noise coming out on track at the moment. Hayden Wilson and Chris Osman, the boys from Wanganui, they have a theoretical chance of getting on the podium for the end of the championship. However, it is still plenty to be run. This will be their last run for the day. They are going to have to throw absolutely everything at it. 0800 engine sorted out, boys. They are going to have to go hard, win it or weld it.
Righto, ladies and gentlemen, they come through the middle of the track for the last time today. Navigation has already played a part.
Oh, wow, how
late
late was that?
Boy, there's some indecision going on out here, Kavy.
Oh, the pressure is telling. These guys are really struggling now that the pressure is on. What is going on with the split time? We'll get back to you with that. But he's well down on where he needs to be. The split was 25.306. Wow, he's about 2 seconds away from where he needs to really be. Oh, Hayden Wilson late into there as well. Took a really wide line around there.
Boy, oh boy, there's obviously some fair play with the sunstrike out there, ladies and gentlemen. As we get a little later in the day, the sun's come lower, but the competitors definitely having trouble picking their way around the corners, as you've seen with the last 2 boats. We can only wish for safe journeys for them as we come through the final stages here Don't take any notice of the time on your screen. We'll go over there and
Yeah, with
to the computer.
105,004, 105,004 there for Hayden Wilson and Chris Osman.
65,004. That is way out of their time.
They're well out of that, hey?
Yeah. Tim Edhouse and Patrick Hayden and Ross Travis are the last three competitors in the Biolytics Group B for the year. Biolytics have been great sponsors, waste management systems. If you need to build a new house, you want to get a Biolytics system into that house. Ladies and gentlemen, we are so proud to wear their banners out on track, and we race this Group B under their name. Tim Edhouse and Debbie Edhouse from Ofongo will be our next crew in.
All right, gee, the bit of smoke down there on the spin-out pool, it just seemed to clear. I'd be interested to see which boat that came from. Didn't quite catch it, but Tim and Debbie Edhouse, Liquid Addiction, now coming under starters' orders. Coming just easing their way through right now. They're third in the championship at the moment, 1 point behind Ross Travers in second. Paddy and Jay Hayden are a few points clear, but the championship is still not sorted in the Group B. Tim and Debbie Edhouse, late in there. The back of the boat looked like it slid sideways. It looked like it had no rear fin. How he caught that before he didn't end up in the commentary box is beyond me.
Definitely, ladies and gentlemen, just about before he went through the line, he almost pulled it out of the water. As we go around the outside of Biolytics, they build up a full head of steam in these smaller engine boats as we come through the split. Needs to be in amongst the 23s. He's a 24.423.
Oh, a little bit untidy going through the flip-flops towards the pit side of the track. But I dare say when you're coming down that straight there, just the sun will be causing all sorts of problems. I dare say they've got tears everywhere as the sun just burns into their eyeballs. Oh, Tim Edhouse bogs it down in that final corner around PSB. That is going to cost him plenty. Is that going to mean that he could be out of the championship or out of the contention to take the Biolytics Group B? Oh, hit the crosswash, the boat untidy through there. It's the first time we've seen that today for Tim Edhouse. The boat was not handling as well. But a 103.042.
Well, it's quicker. It's actually slightly quicker than what he had to get this far. So he pulled 0.31 of a second off his time prior. So Tim Edhouse and Debbie Edhouse, give them a hand, ladies and gentlemen, as they leave the track. They are guaranteed to be third place here at Taranakau anyway, depending on what happens to our next two runners. Our next two runners are the top two runners. Oh, my goodness. Look at this. He's coming out with smoke.
The man leading the championship. The man leading the championship. Have a look at the smoke coming out of it. It's cleared.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen.
That could have been a massive problem for the championship leader. That could have thrown it all away. He doesn't care. He wants to blow the engine up. He needs to finish this run to take the championship.
There you are, ladies and gentlemen, the number one competitor coming in today to be the New Zealand Biolytics Group B champion. But he'd like to finish on the good win in front of Ross Travis as well. So there is only one speed for this husband and wife team from Te Awamutu as they head on through around the Biolytics Island again. And they're going to come straight out as you can smell the burnt smoke. You know what, KV, I think they might have played the trump card on this one.
Oh, gee, I tell you what, all they've got to do is get this boat home and they take the New Zealand Championship. But with that smoke billowing out at the start, I wonder if it's caused any problems. It could. There's only a few corners left to go. Will the engine make it? Paddy Hayden now across the line with a 61.626.
That is 2 seconds quicker than they were previously. 61.626.
We are just waiting for confirmation, but that could well mean that Patrick and Jay Hayden have taken out the championship. We have our secretary up there. They're celebrating. They give the one finger sign to us, the number one. And we will just wait for official confirmation. There is people working on the computer.
Hey, but let's not go anything far away.
Ross and Shane Travers enter the race course.
Don't take anything away from these guys. They've been the fastest competitors all day long here in Group B, and they have the chance of winning this final round and finishing the season off in a positive note with the round win here today. They are the number 2 competitors in the country, but we think they're too far behind the team of Patrick and Jay Hayden. They didn't have the early start to the season that they wanted to find themselves in the top. of the competition standings at the moment, but they will definitely be in charge if they, or happy if they take a win from this round. We come through the middle of the course for the last time for them. Nice work there around the hairpin again. Ross and Shane Travis from Wanganui. Radioactive the boat.
I'll tell you what, they are red on at the moment, and the way this front is going, I dare say that these blokes will be on top of the podium for the round. Where is it going to find them for the championship? Oh, he's just gone across the grass, and that is a 58.899, ladies and gentlemen. Ross and Shane Travers take the round win. The final round here at Featherston. It is Ross and Shane Travers. We will get back to you with the championship and who took that out. Ladies and gentlemen, Patrick and Jay Hayden take the 2016 New Zealand Championship for the Biolytics Group B. All right, now we'll come back with some, and Ross and Shane Travers will be second in the championship, and Tim and Debbie Edhouse will take third in the championship. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for the final round win to Ross and Shane Travers out on track at the moment.
Check.
All right, wow, that's right down to the wire there, Wiggy, and wow, I'll tell you what, it just shows how close this Group B championship had been throughout the year, and what a win. All right, we are now going to go to the top 5 of the Group A category. The first boat out on the water will be Ollie Silverton. This championship is still up for grabs as well. Ollie Silverton. I love it when it's just top 5. There's no mucking around. You've just got to get into it. For Ollie Silverton and Jess Sit. Yeah, really very nice run there. They're only 0.8 of a second behind Blake Bryant's quick time last time out. So, wow, really the right time of the day to get it done. Cy Gibbon now and Tomo doing the navigational duties in the Novus Auto class. The boys from North Canterbury, just up the road from you, Wiggy. How are they going to go into it? Gee, I tell you what, there's a bit of a sluggish sort of start there.
Wasn't it? Yeah.
Went under that timing loop. So I wonder what the thinking there was for Simon Gibbon. This sun will be causing all sorts of problems for him.
Yeah, definitely. The KV, as we head on around the course, they had a time of 59.827, 59.827 around there before. Those guys would like nothing better to be on the podium. Boy, they've come through here fast. Look at this. Cy Gibbons found another gear in the final 5.
Yeah, and a 22.650 for the split, so he'll be very happy with that. Although I dare say he won't be looking at the scoreboard to see what it is. Now into that left-hander. Surprised we haven't seen a few boats come out of there throughout the course of the day. But Simon Gibbon really laying it all on the line at the moment.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, the final stages for every one of these competitors. Cy Gibbon hasn't had a podium finish this year, just out of the money in Wanganui. He wants nothing better than for his support crew to see him do a sub-60. Here we go again with a 59.750. 59.750, found himself a little bit of an improvement there, but probably not enough to find a podium finish.
Yeah,
he's right on the bubble.
But it is a race of attrition. We've still got Rick Burke, Sam Newdick and Blake Bryant. The three people who can take the championship are still to come.
Definitely, and one of those three boats have a brain fade or an engine problem, and that'll throw the cat amongst the pigeons. Alf Kill, Rick Burt, the driver, Alf Kill, the navigator. Last time in the season for them in Firewater, 222 is the boat that we're looking at right now. These guys had a great year. What a great way to finish the season.
Look, reigning world champions, and look, it was just such a great win for these guys of the world, but they just want to cap it off and stand on top of the podium for the 2016 championship for the Alpine Group A. So, look, fantastic run here at the moment, Carl. And Rick, what we have seen in the past is Rick easing off into the more difficult corners. Are we going to see that same sort of thing? Yes, eased it off, but not as much as last time. 22.541.
Right on the bubble there with Simon Gibbons' split time. So it's going to be a real test for them to get home underneath that 59.750. Oh, took a dive into that corner, but boy, oh boy, these guys may have just backed it off a little bit coming through that straightaway. Round the outside of Suzuki, the final stages of the final race of 2016 for a very successful team.
Yeah, gee, I really think that this sun is causing massive problems. Alf Kilt's just going, hurry up, oversteer through there. But still a 59.108, well outside of where they need to be.
Well, it is to be the winners, but I tell you what, though, that's pushed Simon Gibbon back a little bit. So, man alive, Ollie Silverton, Simon Gibbon, and Richard Burt. You throw a blanket over all their two. Rick Burt, sorry. They've thrown a blanket over all three of them. But here comes the two-horse race at the front. Sam Newdick and Blake Bryant. Those guys have been banging heads all season.
Wow, this is going to come down to whoever out of these next two boats gets the quickest time. Well, actually, we can't even say that because it just depends on how the points are going to work. It's not as simple as if Blake or Sam win it, that they take the championship. It's going to go to a countback. Sam Newdick out on track at the moment for PSP. They make some good navigational duties. And wow, couldn't Sam Newdick want to take home the championship here this weekend? That'll mean he'll be a three-peat champion in Group A. But Blake Bryant is hungry for it as well. Sam Newdick driving beautifully at the moment.
So, ladies and gentlemen, we're just going to focus on round 6 at the Taranaki racetrack here in front of us for the Auckland Group A's. We'll give you the championships as soon as we can, but let's have a look and see which one of these 5 competitors is going to be today's champion. Then they'll do the homework beside us on the computer and give us the year champion for the Auckland Group A's. As we come around the top of the course, it sounds like it's just slowed up a little bit, but this competitor's coming in with a really quick time of 57.254. 57.254.
Run by Sam Newdick. Quick time of the day, and he shaved over a second off his previous run. That is going to put the wood right on Blake Bryant.
Yeah, if you're going to do it, you might as well really put the pressure on. Now, Blake Bryant, has he got a 57.2 in his repertoire? He has had a 58.026 to get himself to here. So previously, he's only been 0.2 of a second in front of Sam Newdick. Sam's thrown down a real gauntlet for this competitor. They've crashed the boat this season. They've done everything. They've won. They've had all sorts of issues. I saw a huge flash of sun bounce off the head of the driver's helmet there as they came towards us. Ladies and gentlemen, keep an eye. This guy's smoking. He's going fast.
Yeah, absolutely. Blake Bryant really on it at the moment. Kate Hugerbrook doing the navigational duties. As you said, we have had some big ups and downs this season. Massive crash in the world. Brand new package here. And the split is a red hot one at 21.7 at 1 at 6. And wow, this is coming down to this run. Who is going to take the championship? Who's going to take the final round? Blake Bryant pushing absolutely as hard as he can.
Yeah, they are, and those left-handers, they are definitely the ones that slow the boats down as we come around the Suzuki Island there for the long straightaway up to Violytics. Has he got a 57.254 in it? Ladies and gentlemen, this is a tough competition. These boats, these Group A boats, are being tucked together. Oh, look at that!
Oh.
57.502, so he's outside Sam Newdick.
Ladies and gentlemen, Sam Newdick takes the final round here at Featherston and takes the New Zealand Championship for the Group A. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Sam Newdick and Glenn Mason.
Well, there are Altherm, ladies and gentlemen. They are great sponsors of New Zealand jet sprinting. We can't ask for better sponsors than those that are out here today. The Altherm Group A's champion for 2016 will be Sam Newdick. And what a way to finish, what a strong finish, and what a good year that competitor's had. Not only has he found himself a brand new baby that he had to deliver through the World Series, but he's found himself to be the champion of this New Zealand Championship. So well done, and here he comes for his lap of honour. Please, ladies and gentlemen, Wairarapa Jet Sprint fans, make sure you give this competitor all the juice out of your hands that you can give him.
Yeah, what a great championship there for Sam Newdick and Glenn Mason. Three-peat Group A champions. Wow.
And look at the flag, the hand waving. He's happy. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, real happy.
Good on him, doing the donuts.
So there's a spin-out bowl for a reason, ladies and gentlemen. He's made sure that you know him. Boy, oh boy, it's going to be a great night over at the racecourse as we celebrate with these guys. And there's going to be some happy competitors with PSP gear on them. Rightio, I think it's time for Superboat time. Suzuki Superboats.
I tell you, ladies and gentlemen, this last 5 boats is going to decide the championship. Peter Coey and Rob Coley come in here into this round on equal points. If one beats the other, they will take the championship. Hang on a second, what is going on? It looks like we might have a sponsor ride, I'd suggest.
Yeah, it does look like a sponsor's right there, but it looks like... All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's Baden Gray out on the track at the moment, and they're giving him a run because to get an official time from there was a tire on the track, and I think it's a bit academic really. We're just going to look at it for where he ends up in the year standings, so we know who our winners are, but this is for the minor placings for later on in the year as for the running order for next season. So what you are watching out here now is simply a run to give the guy a time for points for the rest of the year for minor standings, and as he's claimed that there was a tyre on the track that slowed him down, so this is just a setup for next season.
Yep, they're absolutely right, Wiggy. That's what they did. There was a tyre in the track, which Baden Gray did get the opportunity of a rerun. We've just seen that rerun there for Baden Gray. Doesn't change the championship. For the Group A, it was Sam Newdick and Glenn Mason to take that championship win, and indeed the round win. So, wow, what an exciting season. We've still got 5 more boats with 2 of these Suzuki Super Boats who can take the championship. This is Precious Sandwich. Who is going to take the bite and chew? Who is going to take the bite and choke?
All right, we won't put too much pressure on them because there'll be enough on them as it is. Let's go to Scott Donald, 59.848. It's the time this guy was so happy to be in the top 5 right here, KV.
Oh, yeah, look, and interestingly, the last run we thought he was just looking quite slow. Didn't seem to be putting his foot into it, and still ended up with quite a reasonable time, which saw him come into the top 5. So, mate, I'm not about to predict this. It doesn't look super quick. It doesn't look as though he's pushing himself. But the split time, no, he's not.
But Featherston, you should be proud of your local competitor here at the last race of the season in the Suzuki Supers boats, part of the PSP New Zealand Jet Sprinting Championships. This is great to be here in your hometown, representing your hometown in front of your own crowd. So as they come through the finish line, make sure that Featherston competitors get their Featherston support.
Yeah, look, Scott Donald just a little bit untidy around that part of the track. I don't think we're going to see him on the podium, but they will be absolutely stoked to get into the top 5 and into the final run of the day. And 22.609. So well down on the pace that they set coming into this round. In fact, they're about 3.2 seconds down on their last run.
Hey, KB, you and I should talk about it before we get another boat out here. Rob Coley, Peter Coe, they are tied at the moment. They are tied for the chance to win the New Zealand Championship. If you'd said to Pete Coe after the first 2 rounds of championships, you've got a chance to win, he would have said no, because he had a rollover up at Mary. He's had engine problems here, there and everywhere. Wanganui last week, he ended up, last time, he ended up not even making it through the top 12.
Yep.
And Rob Coley as well has had so many crashes and bits and pieces. You would not have picked these 2 competitors to be in the situation where they're both racing off now for the chance to be the champion, and here they come.
Yeah, look, Rob Coley and Mouthfresh on the line there. There is a tyre that is in the start chute that Rob Coley's pointing to. Could see him pointing down to that. I wonder if that is going to upset the focus and the strategy that he has. And I guess the only strategy you can have is just mash the pedal to the metal. Rob Coley needs to beat Peter Coe by 0.001 of a second.
That's all it's going to take.
Alternatively, Peter Coe needs to beat Rob Coley by 0.001 of a second. And that tyre in the track, will that upset the mindset of Rob Coley? Mouthfresh is the boat. This thing is 705 cubic inches of big block fury. Rob Coley would have been sucking down energy drinks. Ange Coley would have been trying to calm him down. Where is this going to go, ladies and gentlemen? Rob Coley now out of the start chute and going hell for leather.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, it comes down to the wire right here at the last race of the year for these competitors. Richard Burt is the leader for the round 6 win, but the tie between the top 2 competitors for the year, Rob Coley and Peter Coe. This is the first one. Let's take a look at the split. The split is going to be a 21-5-1 run. 21-5-1 run. That is just an average split compared to the others that have gone before him. But he has a great finish in this racetrack.
Yeah, absolutely has a great finish. And look, Rob Coley's going about this quite smart indeed. He's not overdriving it. The energy drinks must have calmed him down somewhere along the line. He must have taken some Valium. Now he winds up the 705 cubic inch big black Donovan. Or just easy not coming into that. I dare say the Sunstrike causing a little problem. What a run, Rob Coley. 55.644. Now that is going to set it on fire. In fact, he was quicker than Peter Coe when Peter Coe coming into the top 5. So that is putting the pressure on everybody. And Rob Coley just parks it up over there on NZ just to get more of the Mouthfresh logo all over the TV on TV3. And wow, what a run, Wiggy.
Yeah, no kidding. Ladies and gentlemen, don't forget, every one of these competitors has put a lot of time and effort into being here to be the champion this year. Would you please give them a round of applause? That is Rob and Ange Coley. Give them a big hand.
Can we get the level down, please? All right. Wow. The rescue crew being brought back to work again for the hopefully the final time for the 2016 season. But I'll tell you, Rob Coley and Ange Coley will be absolutely stoked with that run. Now, that run was some 0.14 seconds quicker than what Peter Coe did coming into this round. Richard Burt, of course, coming into this final round, into the top 5, had a 54.589. So on those figures, you still don't know. It is just... Oh, I'm blown away, mate. I can't think. Oh, hang on. We've got all sorts of spray over the windows we can't see. Ruben Hoxema out on the windows pretending he's a windscreen wiper and making things much worse.
It looks like he's done that before, once or twice actually.
Yeah, I've heard he's a bit of a wiper.
Yeah, and look at this. It's probably made it worse, to be totally honest. Let's go now to pit lane and see there's a couple of 3 boats still to come. Richard Burt, of course, the quickest time with a 54.589. 54.589, so he's nearly a whole second with that twin turbo Nissan, quicker than the other guys. But you know, navigation always plays a bit of a trouble for Richard Burt, and as the pressure comes on, David Simmons is still to come. He's a little bit off the pace of the top 3 competitors. And, of course, Peter Coe. Will he find his 10th New Zealand title?
Well, it's only a few minutes, mate, and we are going to find out. But with the time that Rob Coley's just put down, it's really putting the pressure on Peter Coe. And as we said, if Peter Coe takes the win, it'll be his 10th championship. If Rob Coley takes the win, it will be his first Suzuki Unlimited Superboat Championship. So plenty on the line, plenty to play for. And the spoiler in the mix amongst all of this is Richard Bird in the Stinger machine. So still plenty to come. We've got 3 boats to come, ladies and gentlemen. We're just putting the Mouthfresh boat back up onto the trailer, and then they will release the next boat. So don't forget Mouthfresh, the best tasting toothpaste in the world. Get down to your pack and say, grab hold of it. They've even got some really good toothbrushes, which, you know, Rob Coley, I reckon, will be smiling that big white Mouthfresh grin right at this point.
Yeah, for a guy that's had to have 3 boats under him this season, and the amount of time that he's spent in the air rather than in the water has been huge. I think he's had more hits on YouTube than David Tour had, or than David Tour gave out, to be honest. So,
or even Gangnam Style.
Yeah, no kidding. Let's have a look now at Simo, Dave Simmons, John Berry, for their last race of the season. They had a 59.305 earlier on, and as Cavey's been telling you, it's, they're waiting for something to go bang in this motor, and that's got to be off-putting for a start, because any time that one of these big boats that's doing 120 kilometres an hour loses traction on the water, there's only one place to go, and that's in the green.
Yeah, and you don't want to be in the green. It's like riding a mad mouse and running out of rails, and this is not what these guys want. Dave Simmons and John Berry certainly got the pace on at the moment. Probably not the top-end pace that they would like, but still the engine is holding together. And coming now towards the commentary, had a bit of a left, and he had a bit of a line out there, not too sure. It's the 3rd time Dave Simmons has done that.
No kidding, and real indecision through the middle of the track there as we get around the outside of Suzuki now, full speed ahead up to the top of Dialytics. Don't hang it out on the grass out there, that can catch you out as he comes back around past the NZ. The last stages of the last run for the year for this team from the Hawke's Bay, we've got a 59.535, so they're pretty consistent. 59.535, not going to change our leaderboard though.
No, absolutely not, but it is these next 2 boats that are going to decide not only the championship but also the final round as well. So it is right down to the wire. 2 boats to come, ladies and gentlemen. Richard Bird in the Stinger cannot take the championship. Peter Coe in the NZ machine can take the championship. Who is going to take it?
And the way that the running order is, Peter Coe's got to come off the trailer first, and that is the way it is. Peter Coe, Shama Putoranui, finishing off their 2016 season here at Taranekau. And this is where it comes down to the experience of Peter Coe. 55.644. You need to remember that. 55.644 is the time to be the best of the country for the 10th time. And we wish them only the best of luck, ladies and gentlemen, as they head around Dialytics for the first time.
And he's absolutely on it. He's going to leave nothing. Absolutely nothing. He's throwing absolutely everything at it. Shama Putoranui just sitting in the navigator seat, just doing a beautiful job, just popping the hand up when it's required. Peter Coe on the split with a 20.972. That is a ripping split. Quicker than Rob Coley.
Half a second quicker than Rob Coley, Cavey.
Wow, coming into that final, that left hand. How's he going to go around the hairpin PSP? Great, fantastic. You couldn't ask for better. Peter Coe now up to the top end of the track, the big ride around Biolytics. Duck between NZ and Biolytics down the back straight now.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, is this the new New Zealand champion again? Let's have a look. It is a 54.452. He has taken the championship, the Suzuki Superboats champion for 2016.
Is Peter Coe and Shama Putoranui for NZ. Ladies and gentlemen, that man before you is now a 10-time national champion. Whoa, still with 1 boat left to come.
Yep, ladies and gentlemen, the new concept boat of Richard Bird's about to come out, and once again we're looking at Nissan power, this time twin turbo, 1500 horsepower. Now this competitor wants nothing more than to win this round and show everybody how good they will be next season.
Absolutely, Richard Bird is not going to Di wondering for this run. He's going to throw everything at it. No doubt about that. He can't take the championship. Oh, he got the boat a little bit up.
Oh, navigation.
Gone wrong way.
Navigation.
Richard Burt has thrown the opportunity to take the final round win. He's thrown it away. Back on track now, but that is the end of it.
You know what, we've seen this a couple of times. This boat goes so fast that one little bit of indecision and it's going to cost you your run. And always in the elimination rounds, KV, that has been a costly mistake.
Yeah, absolutely. That just blew the opportunity for Richard Burt to stand on top of the podium for the final round of the New Zealand Jetsprints season. And Claire Roberts as well, so they will be absolutely gutted. Wow, hasn't this meeting just thrown up so much?
Yeah, it has, and you know what? Dave Simmons is going to find himself on the podium tonight. He's going to find himself really happy.
Timo's buying the beer.
Yeah, no kidding. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this is the last run for them for the year. 106, 66, 009, 66, 009. It's a bit of an empty, in fact, a huge anti-climax for that team. But without further ado, let's get the winner of round 6 of the Suzuki Superboats for the New Zealand PSB New Zealand Jet Sprinting Championship out here, and the national champion for 10 times. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. NZ, Peter Coe and Shama Putaranui will be the final boat on the water today as their lap of honour, and please pay them the respect that they're due with your hands and appreciation. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, we thank you for getting your backside trackside. It has been an awesome event here. Come and join us in the bar for prize giving. There is plenty of cold ones to be had, and my name's Caveman, and if I look empty-handed, buy me one.
Typical Australian, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, Cavey, been great working with you for the year. Ladies and gentlemen, as part of the New Zealand Jet Sprinting, we'd like to thank our timekeepers, our track officials, our rescue crew, our sound crew, our man from CTAS TV for the live stream, and a big thank you very much to everybody that comes up here and works in the box. And on behalf of Cavey and I, a big thank you to Ruben and Julia and Lisa and all the guys and girls up here. It's just great working with a good team. Thank you.
Absolutely, Wiggy. Well done, mate. And look, Peter Coe, ladies and gentlemen, rise to your feet for the 10-time national champion. I'll tell you what, that is just amazing. Ladies and gentlemen, we're about to say hooroo. Thank you very much. We will see you at the bar.